All right, so let's finish up our last scenario here. We're coming up on question number 9. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the inventory method being periodic and weighted average. Okay, so number 9 here, let's get started. And it says here that on October 5th, we purchased 800 toys at $1 each, and freight cost me $45. So we're going to go ahead and find question number 9. And let's fill out our table. So we have October 5th for the 800 items. So October 5th, 800 items at $1 with freight being $45. Okay. All right. So our total purchase price is going to be the 800 times $1, which gives us 800 plus 45 gives us a total of 845. Now in this case, do we need to solve for our cost of goods, cost per item? No, we don't, because at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter. All we care about is getting our total ending balance. Okay. So then on October 7, you returned a total of 50 broken toys for a full refund. Okay, so we returned 50 broken toys for a full refund. So we're going to go down to the bottom here. We returned 50, and assuming what we know that each toy was $1 each, and it is going to be a grand total of $50. Okay. Then next is going to be on October 10. We purchased 550 toys at $1.25 with freight of $30. Okay, so here on October 10, we have a total of 550 items at $1.25 with the freight of $30. Okay, so 550 at 125 for a total of $30. So here my total purchase price is going to be my 550 times 125, giving us a total of $687.50. Plus my $30 freight, and we get $717.50. Okay. All right. Again, we don't need to solve our cost per item, so we can move on to the next one. So then on October 15, we purchased 1050 toys. Okay, 1050 toys for $1.50 each with the freight of $50. Okay. So on 10/20, we bought 1050 at $1.50 with a freight of $50. Okay. So my total purchase price is going to be a total of $15.75. Okay, and then this one right here, if we add $50 to it, it should give us a grand total of $1626.50. Okay. So now that we had that on the 15th of October, I have to fix that for October 15. Okay. Then on October 18, we actually returned 150 toys because they were the wrong color. However, we were given an additional 25% discount, okay? Because they were the wrong model, okay? So we bought a specific toy and they gave us the wrong one, so decided to give us a 25% discount. So here we're going to keep the items. So here we're going to go down here. We know that we're not going to actually return our items, but we know that from this batch here, we originally bought it for $1.50 each, okay? And we know that we're going to get a 20% discount. So if we're trying to return a total of 150 items and we're getting a 25% discount, here we get a total of $56.25. So again, that's going to be this times 150, which gives us $225, and $225 times 25% of that is going to give us $56.25. Okay. It's $56.25. Right? And then on October 20th, now finally on October 20th, we made a purchase of 300 toys at $1.75 with freight of 15. So we're going to go back to our inventory table, and we know that on October 20, we had a total of 300 toys at $175 to give us a total purchase price of $525. Now we know that purchasing those 300 toys is going to give us $15 of freight, so $15, bringing us a grand total of $540. Then on October 25th, you returned 50 defective items for a full refund. Okay, so 50 defective items for a full refund. Okay. So in this case, we're going to go back down here, and we're going to take away another 50, and we know from that it's going to be a batch that we originally bought for $1.75. And then when we do that, we're going to solve for this number here, which is going to give us a grand total of $87.50. Okay? And then lastly, on October 31st, you have a total of 1,200 toys on hand. So with that being said, we're going to go back into our inventory table, and we're going to make sure that we mark here that it is going to be for 1,200 items for my ending balance. Okay? All right, so now that we finally reached the end of our periodic table, let's go ahead and calculate our totals here for our inventory here. So equal sum, and it's going to be for this amount. So we have a total of 2,700. Okay, and my total purchase price is going to be a total of $3,587 and 7.50 cents. Okay. We got our total freight of 140, bringing us a grand total of $3,727.50. Okay. So with that being said, we cannot actually find our average cost per item because we have one more factor that affects our total amount of inventory, right? We've made a couple returns, and we've also decreased a few values in our inventory. So here we need to hold off on the average cost per item and solve for this table to solve for our total goods available. So in this case, we bought a total 2,700 for the 3,500. Okay, our total purchase returns and allowances. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to go ahead and sum up my totals here to find out that I have a total, oh, wrong column again. Okay, so we're going to grab our sums here of 100 items that we're going to return, and the entire cost of those 100 items is going to be for the 193.75. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and bring this number over, and this is going to be this number here. Okay. Oh, missed the mark. Okay, so now I am going to calculate my new total. Since I purchased a total of 2,700, I've actually lost 100 items because I returned 100 of those items. Okay. Okay, and then here I am going to subtract this number to give me a grand total of the 3,393. There is 0 freight plus the total cost of 140, which is going to increase my total cost to be my 3393. I'm going to add my 140 to get me a grand total of $3,533.75. Okay. With that, we also don't have any beginning inventory, so our net purchases should be copied down, and it's going to bring us to the grand total of my 2,600 items at my $3,533.75. Okay, so that's my total goods available, and that's my total cost here and my total quantity. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, okay, if I know that at the end of the period, I should have a total of 1,200 units. So I'm going to take my 26 and I'm going to subtract my 1,200 to get me a grand total of 1,400 I've actually sold. Okay, so in this case, we're going to come back up here into our little workspace. We're actually going to solve for our average cost per item, because here we have a grand total of 3,500 with a grand total of goods available to be the 2,600. Okay, so here I'm going to get, it's going to cost me $1.30, 35.9, blah, 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 blah. Okay, by me acknowledging that I'm going to be taking the whole entire batch of the 1,400 that I sold, and if each item is going to cost me that much, I'm going to multiply across. Okay, but I have to remember, since I'm giving this big, huge, long number, I'm going to go ahead and enter in my formula for the equal round. Okay, I'm going to type in 1,400, multiply this, comma, and I want it to the nearest penny. So in this case, I get a grand total of 1902.79. Okay? And that's exactly how many items I actually sold. Okay, it's going to be the 1902.79. Okay. And with that being said, I can calculate my ending inventory by subtracting my goods available and my cost of goods sold to get me a grand total of 1636.96. Okay. And with that being said, we've solved for majority of the answers and we've also done the calculation. So to answer question number 10, all right, we're going to complete the conversion entry. So assuming that this journal entry is going to be for October 31st, we know we need to enter in our inventory. Okay. We also need to calculate our cost of goods sold. Okay. Don't forget our purchase, returns, and allowances. And then we can go ahead and credit our purchase expense and our freight expense. Okay. And in here, I'm just going to go ahead and write adjustment or adjusting for periodic inventory. Okay. So again, we know that we've calculated our ending inventory because we're transferring in how much we transferred the total of 2,600 items, but realistically we only have 1,200 items left. Okay. And then next is we did calculate how many items we actually sold. In this case, we know that we sold 1,400, okay, which costs us that much. Okay. And we also know that our total returns and allowances is going to be the 193.75. Okay. We also know that the total original purchases was for the 3,500. And the total freight for this entire batch here is going to be for the $140. Okay. Let's go ahead and make sure that our debits match our credits. Okay. So I get $37.27.50 on one side, and I get $37.27.50 on the right side. Okay, so good. I completed my journal, and this is done. Okay. So it says here for number 11, we're going to continue. We're going to continue the inventory from the question 9, and your inventory method is going to be periodic, and it's going to be weighted average. So in this case, on October 31st, you have 1,200 units on hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and transfer that amount into my inventory on hand. So I know I have 1,200 items. Okay. And I know I'm going to take that whole entire 1,200 from our previous section here, and I'm going to copy the information from my problem 9. Okay. And I should be able to get the same amount of 1630. $1630.96 is what I originally have, and $1630.96 is my correct answer that I have calculated in question number 9. Okay, but because for this kind of sake and this kind of purposes, I'm going to also equal round it. So then when I add it into my calculation, it doesn't give me a far off number. Okay, so here 1630.96 is what I actually started off with in my beginning inventory. And I'm going to go ahead and copy this down. So then I know that this is my beginning inventory. Okay. So now we can go ahead and get started with the scenario. So here, what happened on November 5th? November 5th, we recognize that we purchased a total of 600 toys at $1.65, right? And freight was $25. 600 at $1.65, $25 freight. Oh. So November 5th, we bought 600 at $1.65, and freight was $25. Okay. So with that being said, let's go ahead and calculate our total purchase price. So here I'm going to multiply 600 with the 165 to give me $990. And then I'm going to add my $25 freight to get me a grand total of $10.15. Okay. Do we need a cost per item? No. Okay. So then next thing that happened on November 7th was you actually returned 100 of those broken toys for a full refund. Okay. So here, I'm going to bring it down to this table here. We returned for 100 items for a full refund. So we originally bought it for $1.65. So therefore, we are going to return, and this is going to be for the full $165. Okay. So the next thing that happened was on November 10, we purchased 700 toys at $1.80, and freight was $40. So 700 for $1.80. Okay, so in this case, this was November 10. Okay, so November 10. Oh, November 10. Okay, 700 at 180 with a freight of 40, giving us a total purchase price of the 1260. Okay, plus 40, which gives us a grand total of 1300. Okay, and we don't need to solve for our cost per item. Then here on November 20th, you purchase another 500 toys at $1.85 with freight of 25. So 500 at 185. Okay. So here, November 20th, you purchase 500 toys at $1.85 with the freight costing $25. So in this case, my total purchase price is going to be for the $9.25 plus the $25 freight to bring it up to $9.50. So then on November 21st, you returned 50 items which were the wrong color and willing to accept the 20% discount. So 50 toys were the wrong color and you were accepting a 50% discount. So in this case, I'm not actually returning anything. However, I know that it's going to cost me $1.85 to calculate our total. Here, we're going to multiply by the 50, and we're also going to multiply by the 20% that we want, which is going to give us a total of $23.13. So again, it's going to be $1.85 times 50, which gives us $92.50. $92.15, and we want 20% of that is going to be $18.50. Okay, so I guess I calculated that wrong. So 185 times 50 times the 0.20 is going to be $18.50. Okay, that's how much we're going to be getting back. All right. So then, next that we're going to be encountering is going to be November 25th. Okay, November 25th, you bought 100 toys for $1.75. Freight is going to be $5. So here, we're going to recognize November 25th, 100 toys at $1.75 with a freight of $5, bringing us this total of $175 plus $5 brings it to $180. Okay. In this case, we have a beginning inventory, and we also are accounting returns and allowances. So in this case, we are not going to solve for the average cost per item just yet. We're going to wait till the very end. So in this case, on November 30th, we recognize that we have a total of 600 items on hand. So here, we're going to recognize the total ending balance of 600. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to total up our columns. Equals sum. And we bought a total net purchases of 1,900 items. Okay, and I am calculating my total purchase price to be a total of $3,350 even. Okay. We have a total freight of my $95, and we get a total of $3,445. So in this case, I'm going to plug in my numbers here. Okay, that's what we started off with. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tally up my total amount of things right here. So I'm going to double check this. So we only encountered 2 things that happen for my returns and allowances. So here I'm going to total up or tally up my total here. Okay, so I have a total of 100 items, and it's going to be for the total of $183.50. Okay. So that is exactly what I'm going to paste here. I have a total of 100 returns and allowances for the total of $183.50. Okay, so that is there, and I'm gonna go ahead and update my inventory. So I have a total net purchases of 1,800 now, and the total cost of that is going to be for $30,166.50. Okay, we're going to add our freight in here. Okay, our freight was a total of 95, bringing us a grand total of $3,261.50, and that's after returns are there. Here, do we have a beginning balance? Yes, we do in this case. We have a beginning balance of the 1,200 units, and it cost me a total of the 1630.96. Okay, so I bring that down, and I know that I have currently 1,600 at 3261. Okay, giving me a grand total of goods available to be 3,000 items or toys even. Okay? And these 3,000 toys is going to cost me a total of $4,089.46. Okay? So now I'm going to solve for my cost of goods sold, which is the 3,000 minus 600 to give you a total of 2,400 items sold. Okay? And this is where I'm going to go ahead and calculate my cost per item. I know I have a total of $4,892.46, and I'm going to divide that by the total amount that I have, which is 3,000, giving me a grand total of 163 or 163,022, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go ahead and pull this information that I need to sell a total of 2,400 items. Okay. And then lastly, again, I'm going to solve for my cost of goods sold. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in my formula. Equal round. I'm going to multiply these across. Okay, so I'm going to get myself a grand total of $3,913.97. Okay, which I should be able to retrieve my ending inventory as my amount of goods available, subtract my cost of goods sold, which should give me a total of $978.49. Okay, good. Now, last but not least, we're going to journalize our adjustment entry right now. So again, it should look, if not very identical to the previous problem. Oops. So the previous problem. Oh. Okay, so the previous problem was here. We're going to recognize that there's ending inventory, or there's toys that we're transferring from our periodic purchases. We are also going to recognize that we sold some of those items along the way. We also have to recognize that we have some goods that we did return, some purchases that we returned, and we also have to recognize our purchase expense, freight expense. the last thing that we need to also recognize is going to be our beginning amount of inventory on hand. Okay, so in this case, my ending balance is going to be for my 978. My total goods sold is going to be for my 3,913. My total returns is going to be for the total of 183.50. And then my total purchase expense here is going to be for the 3,350. And my total freight here is going to be for the $95. And of course, lastly, my beginning inventory is going to cost me the $1630.96 from the previous section. Okay. Now, of course, we're going to make sure that our debits match our credits. So I'm going to sum up my total. So I have a total of $5,070.96, and I got $5,075.96 on both sides. Okay, and that's how you do Chapter 5, looking at all three methods. We looked at the first one, which is FIFO. We looked at the second one, which is LIFO, and this is what happens when we're dealing with weighted average. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Repetition, okay, and understanding that when you are reaching the end of the inventory, how you calculate it matters. Okay. And we also got to look at what happens when we're dealing with our purchase returns and allowances. Okay, so that is it for today, and have a great weekend.